Hey everyone, here is everything awesome that happened in this week's gaming. Let's jump into it. So who would have thought that The Witcher 3 had a smaller budget than what we all expected? Now, in a recent interview relating to Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Reds, that's the developer of The Witcher 3, went into saying that we didn't want to publish the budget of The Witcher 3 just in case Western players got scared of thinking it's a low-budget game. Now, this is really interesting because the budget was significantly smaller than GTA 5, and I would argue that it looks significantly better than that game. Now, this leaves some pretty important factors when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077. Now, we know that the game's going to be visually fantastic, but the idea of having a smaller budget for The Witcher 3, then passing through almost like an efficiency filter. They know they've done it before, they spent enough time working on games, that Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be even cheaper at cost if you were to make the same size game, just based on practice and experience. That's what one can expect. So this leads me to believe, as the budgets continue to rise on major games like GTA and lots of Activision titles as well, these guys are doing the opposite. They're bringing the costings down, but making better games. Very interesting stuff. I really like this. Now, just to finish this up regarding Cyberpunk 2077, the CD Projekt Reds CEO said that they're striving to make gamers feel comfortable when it comes to the monetization. One of the moves that they've made to avoid this is by saying, quote unquote, that's why we don't want to become part of a large structure, meaning getting bought out by a parent company or something like that that has other agendas. So yeah, it's pretty crazy to think about The Witcher 3 as having a small budget, although that's not the right word to use. I think smaller than some big titles like GTA and that kind of stuff. It'll be interesting to see how well they pull off Cyberpunk 2077 with probably a more efficient and smaller budget based on the content of the two games in comparison together, if that makes sense. Now, earlier on in the week, Blizzard announced that heroes in Overwatch will become free. That's old news, but I wanted to talk about one of the proposed reasons why this actually is. I believe it's one reason, guys. The future sales projections based off the pre-orders. Now, let me talk a little bit about this. The pre-orders recently came up, and it looks like it's probably as successful as Blizzard wanted, if not a little bit more. Now, the reason why companies do pre-orders is sometimes to actually fund the development of the game, but also to get a hypothetical scale that they can project what the sales will be like. Blizzard have done so many game launches before that I'm positive that they have a scale. Like, if we get X amount of pre-orders, we know this game's going to sell X amount in the total. This is awesome for us. Yeah. So this is fantastic from a consumer point of view. Why not add more value towards this franchise instead of punishing the growth loop by drip feeding extra monetized content? By the way, I'm totally fine with cosmetics. Add as much as that shit as you want, but I like that Blizzard is probably going to return some of the investment that they're making back into the actual game itself. It's quite clear that they care about this particular franchise and product. So ever wondered how the Steam Key gaming selling sites are able to sell their games so incredibly cheap, so close to the launch? Well, we've got some pretty interesting information about this. Let's jump into this topic because I love this stuff. It's interesting as hell. Now, I originally thought and still do believe that a lot of it came to making clever use of exchange rates, buying games in certain areas, waiting for the markets to change and reselling it and that kind of stuff. And I still believe that this is some of the case, but it looks like there's some other shady shit going on. So Steam recently announced that there's 77,000 monthly Steam accounts hacked. 77,000 accounts monthly that are being hacked. Now, what's actually happening is people are logging into these Steam accounts, cleaning out all of the Steam keys for the games, and then basically, yeah, they're gone. They resell them into some of these sites. Of course, you can contact Steam if this happens to you and they reimburse the games that were stolen, but here's the plot twist that I like the most. Now, I know this is horrible to think about, but think about this. If you were really in this particular industry of stealing digital goods, a more efficient way for you would be to start an account, purchase like 50 big AAA games. The higher the price, the better. Fake that your account got stolen, get your games reimbursed, and voila! 50% off all of your games purchased. Resell them at a 75% cost of the original game price, and yeah, make a cool 25% profit. And just remember, guys, profiting 25% off a $60 game US dollars in some countries of the world is a lot of money. We're talking like big dollars for these guys. Shit, you could probably pay someone $300 a year to hack accounts full time. It's quite clear why this would be so lucrative. I get a feeling that some of these numbers are related to hacking, but a lot of them are definitely from fake accounts and fake hacked reports. That's what I believe. These games are selling these games so incredibly cheap. So just remember, the next game that you buy from some of these key vendors, yeah, probably got suck it out. Who ultimately pays the price out of all of this? Well, we kind of do in a passive way. It hurts the game developers. They make less money, able to make less games in the future with a smaller budget and make the games a little bit worse. So we play shittier games because of these dickheads. But I guess they could try and counterbalance it with CD Projekt Reds, smaller budget and just awesome game design in general. There you go, guys. Economics. It all balances itself out. It is a little bit troubling to hear about all of this shady stuff that goes on, but trust me, this is just a part of the digital industry. Anything digital will eventually become free, and also there's going to be shit like this that happens all the time. Join me next week for another episode, and of course some more gaming news throughout the week as well. See you later, guys. Catch you next time.